What's going on, my friends? I hope you're very well. I hope you're having a very nice day. Today we're going to do something really cool. I hope this is going to be a short video, but I want to make another moss terrarium. But I'm going to use a bunch of these Bucephalandras that I have over here. You can see that they're floating. These are cuttings that I've taken in the past few weeks. And I thought it would be really cool to make like a combination between the Bucephalandras and the moss. Yeah, with time it's gonna look really, really cool. And so I'm also gonna use this opportunity to use this little rock. If you follow my bonsai channel, you might have noticed that I've used one of these to work as maybe sort of like the base of a root over rock project. So I think it looks really cool, really interesting. I collected this. By the way, this was already dead. It didn't have any living things on them. Sterile. I collected this on a trip we took to the beach last year. So yeah, I've been wanting to use it since then. So we're gonna see how it looks like in a moss terrarium with these Bucephalandras. Yeah. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah. So here we got the things that we're gonna use. You can see that in this little Ferrero Rocher box we got like an assortment of mosses. Yeah, and we're gonna use those. This is the fishbowl that I'm gonna use, and over here I've got another moss propagation station. You can see that it's doing very well, nice and healthy. Yeah, and over here I've got like the main feature of this build, which is going to be the Bucephalandras. Yeah, I think I have a couple of species here, different species. You can see that those bigger leaves are different from, for example, I think we can see it over here. Now you'll see that when we use them, when we plant them, you'll see the difference in the foliage. It lets me to believe these are a couple of different species. Yeah, so I'm going to place the camera down. I'm going to place the camera in position. Oh, I forgot to mention that I've also got the gardening soil over here and a couple of rocks that might be useful as well. So I'm going to place the camera down and then we can get to business. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add gardening soil. And by the way, before I say anything else, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed, because you know, we're more than 100 subscribers at the moment, and that's awesome. You know, that's awesome. If you're watching this video, you will really help me out if you go ahead and subscribe, you know, so I can continue to make more videos like this. So thank you, really thank you. So the thing about this build is it's going to be sort of like an experiment, you know, because I'm only going to use the gardening soil and no other substrate. You can see that this is gardening soil that has no additives, not a lot of organic material. It has already been decomposed, and this is the perfect substrate for moss, you know. It's got the perfect consistency. I think it's got a lot of nutrients, which, by the way, the moss doesn't need directly like that. But those are nutrients are bioavailable, and that with evaporation they become available to the moss. That takes them from the humidity in the air, you know. So I'm not going to use any drainage layer or anything else. This is going to be as natural as possible. And we'll see how it works out. Yeah. So there, I just placed a huge layer of, or a big layer of gardening soil. And another thing that I want to do is I'm gonna try and keep the Bucephalandras on the rock, and the moss will be like a sea of moss down below. Yeah. Eventually the moss is going to creep into or onto the rock, and we'll be able to see something very cool. That's why I'm going to place the rock, you know, in an elevated position within the build. So I forgot the rock in the other room, so I'm gonna pause the video and then I'll come back. So here we have it, and like I told you, we're gonna come in and place it like this. This is exactly how I want it to look, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all that we're gonna do with it. Yeah. Still, I pushed a little bit, so it looked like it comes out of the main layout. Yeah. And I'm just gonna go ahead and even out the rest, like so. I also got another little rock that I collected more recently, which I think it's gonna look nicely if I place over here, or maybe a bit to the side so I can show like the texture. I've got a couple more here, so you know, the rule of three, I think it'll be beneficial if I use it on the other side. There we go. But to be honest with you, I'm not sure about the third one over there, because it looks a bit different, you know? Maybe the color scheme is similar, but it looks a bit different. Anyway, so next stage will be to water this, spray it down so it's nice and settled, and then we continue with the substrate that we're going to add on top of the rocks. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so here I go. So I think, yes, that's ready for the moss. And with this little shovel, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more. I'm just gonna clean the glass so you can see better. 1 second. There we go, much better. So I was telling you that I'm just gonna add a little bit of extra soil. To those pores that we have naturally occurring on the rock. Yeah. So I don't know if you remember my little pine over rock video, but I was telling you that this is a rock that I collected by the beach, you know. So all of those little pores and crevices, they were once filled with sea life. You know? So it's very useful if you want to make terrariums and aquariums, of course. But if you're wondering if it's sustainable, if it's eco-friendly, yeah. This, like I said, was already dead. And I say dead because, you know, all of these structures, rocks and concrete and whatever, after a while of being submerged in the ocean, it becomes alive, you know. A lot of microorganisms start to colonize it, and then it becomes a living organism in and of itself. I'll come in, do the same thing, being a bit careful not to blast away the whole thing. I mean the whole soil. I'm gonna clean again. So there we are. And now it's just a matter of coming in with the plants and, you know, plant them on top of the rock. Yeah. So here's one of them. Yeah, you can see the roots are nice and active. And since this is a very big one, I can go ahead and place it over here. I am going to use my fingers to do that because you know, I'm not very skilled with the tongues. This is one of the little ones that I was telling you about. I'm not sure if it looks like that because it's a juvenile plant or because it's a different species. But you can really see the difference in the foliage. Or at least I see a difference in the foliage. That's another one over there. The glare is killing me, but you can see it over there. right? Let's continue. Yeah, let's plant another one near the base over here. Oh no. Like I said, you'll have to excuse me if I'm not skilled with the tongs. Maybe I can cut this into two, you know? Can you see that? You know, it's got roots up the stalk, so maybe I can divide that. 1 second. So as I suspected, this is one that you could actually divide into two. This little one and this larger one. So I think I'm going to use the little one over here. And I think it will be quite cool to see it develop. Okay, let's continue. I think I want a large one over here. I think I remember there was sort of like a, yeah, like a hole there. So I can stick this one in there, no problem. And maybe I could counter that one with this one over here. There we go. And I think this is the last one I'm going to use. I think I'm not going to use all of them because it's a bunch of them. I'm going to place it over here. It'd be really cool if I could find like a little hole. There it is. Perfection. Yeah. So I'm going to spray with water, and then we can continue planting the moss. Yeah. Okay, so like I said, in this little Ferrero Rocher box I have the moss that I'm going to use, and I'm going to show it to you on the camera before I actually plant it. So for example, this is one of the species that I'm going to be working with. You can see it there. And it's really common species where I live. There's another one that we've also seen me use before. This little guy. There it is. And I'm just gonna place it wherever. So it's important that it stays in contact with the soil, so it has access to all the moisture that it needs. Yeah. So we continue to do this. If there's any new species that I'll be adding, then I'll show it to you. But that's pretty much it. You know, that's all we have to do at the moment. You know, more little tufts of moss that come from the little Ferrero box, and also from the other box that we have over there. Yeah, I'm going to continue to do this, and I will show you what it looks like when it's finished. Yeah, so see you then. Okay, so here we have it. You can see that it's nearly done. It doesn't look as finished as I would have liked for it to look, but you know, I mean, the moss is very patchy, but the main structure is there. I think when you build one of these, you know, part of the whole thing, you know, the enjoyment of it is to see what it looks like in its different stages. And the ice cream truck is going by. But Yeah, so growing the moss, actually seeing how it evolves as time progresses, that's part of the charm. 1 second. Yeah, it's gone. Sorry about that. So yeah, I was saying that part of the whole thing is growing the moss, and you can see that in here we'll have lots and lots of that. If we take a look over the whole thing like this, like a bird's eye view, we can see like kind of looks interesting. Yeah, so I think it's going to look really good in a couple of weeks. You got to keep this in bright light, and since these are aquatic plants, you got to mist them profusely every week. Yeah, you cover this with a plastic cover, clear plastic cover. If you got like an acrylic disc, that's awesome. If not, you can cover it with cling film. Yeah, and in a couple of weeks you'll have a thriving ecosystem. So I'll keep you posted on this one. I'll keep you updated, and yeah, I hope you liked it. Hope you liked this video. If you can go ahead and subscribe. If you got any questions, comments, out, anything, drop them down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.